All right, folks. When I started getting first interested in fasting, I was already lifting, right? It was a time that I was already lifting weights, and I got interested in fasting. And to my shock and to my surprise, there was no one really talking about how to combine those two things in an effective way, like how to balance those two things together, and tips and tricks and things like that. And to be fair, on a first glance, it does seem like there's no difference. It's like you just work out normally. One thing doesn't really affect the other, and that's just how you go. But after fasting for about a year, that I do one meal a day, and losing around 30 pounds, it's clear to me that there are some things that are very important to point out when it comes to lifting and fasting together, because they do make a big difference and it's things that I would have liked to know, and I would have liked that someone told me that before I started, because it would have saved me a lot of time, and it would have allowed me to make a lot more effective workouts than I was actually doing when I started. So I separated here a list today of all the things that came to my mind when it comes to the specifics of lifting and fasting at the same time. Okay, so first I want to start with the big stuff, which is the programming workouts, right? So a lot of people really enjoy lifting when they are in the fasted state. Like it just gives you this primal feeling of being an ancient human hunting, hunting for the mammoth for your tribe to eat. People like that. Some people get that primal energy that comes from being fasted and working out. Particularly myself, I do not really enjoy it. So what I do instead is that I try to have a little snack before I go to the gym, and also very important, I try to put my lifting session as close as possible to my eating time, right? So I usually have only dinner, so I'll try my best to put my lifting closer to the end of the day, because then I'll just come back, take a shower, and eat. It feels really good. I don't know about you guys, but for me, like the best fucking feeling you get is you go to the gym, right? You're nasty, you're sweating, you're disgusting. You come back, you take a nice shower, and then you eat a nice meal, and if possible, you bang and have a nap. Dude, that's just a that's just a perfect schedule, right? If I could, life would just be like that. Bam. Unfortunately, it's not like that. Sometimes, gotta cut it short. So I try to put my lifting session as close as possible to my meal times, and I'll have like a bite of something before I work out. Usually cheese, usually like Parmesan cheese. I'll just literally the one that I use that I shred to do my like pasta. I'll just grab it and literally bite a nab out of it, and just go with it. That for me is enough. It's just I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know if it's my body likes to have the little bit of carbs, a little bit of carb boost in my system. I don't know how it works, but that's just usually how I like to do it. So if possible, do that. Something else that I find very important, because like my fasting philosophy and quote unquote, I don't fast every single day. I have 1 or 2 days of the week that I don't have a fasting like in mind. So what I like to do is to schedule like the harder training sessions, the ones that I know are gonna be little bit more brutal, on the days that I'm not fasting. I don't really do powerlifting, for example, but if you are into those kinds of things, powerlifting, lifting, I don't know, heavy stuff. Some other day, someone asked me how much I bench. I was like, I have no fucking idea. Last time I benched was like 3 years ago. So I don't really do those things. I do mostly like calisthenics, and and some isolation for arms and shoulders at the gym. But I always, when I know the workout's going to be a little bit more gruesome, I try to schedule them on the days that I am eating, because it's just a little bit of extra energy that I find to be very helpful, right? So, talking about calisthenics, the second point that I separated for you guys here is the types of workouts, because they do change a little bit, right? I never tried powerlifting while fasting, and I don't think that's a smart idea in a sense, because I find it's going to be a little bit frustrating, because if you're trying to lose a lot of weight, you're probably going to decrease in strength a little bit, and you're probably going to lose a little bit of muscle, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose. and it's just gonna get you more frustrated. So for that reason, I think calisthenics are fantastic. Calisthenics for me have just been a fantastic. I always liked it, and I'm not talking about skills. I'm not talking about doing fancy shit. I'm talking about just basic calisthenics, body weight, pull-ups, chin-ups, dips, rows, push-ups, just that very basic foundational movements that everyone has been doing ever since human beings found out that they can get bigger muscles by working out. And there's a reason why we're still doing those same fucking movements, because they work like a charm. And they just, I don't know, man, they just build this different kind of physique that just looks a lot more raw and a lot more dense and beautiful, harmonic. I don't understand why. There's something very poetic about using your own body to build muscle. Call me crazy. I might be, you know, might be hallucinating. I might be going insane. I don't really give a shit. That's just how I like to do it. And especially because as you start losing weight, if you're heavier right now, that should be an incentive. You should start doing calisthenics right now that you're heavy, that you're fat. Because, dude, it's just more weight on the bar. It's like you have an extra 50 pounds over there that you're just using as resistance for your muscles. And as you start losing that weight, your reps are going to start increasing. Is a positive feedback loop where your reps increase, you feel better about it, then you go heavier, and then you get more like addicted to the training. In calisthenics, the lighter you are, the more reps and the easier it usually gets. So if you start heavy and then you start decreasing your weight, you're going to be progressing really nicely on it. And it's even if you're losing strength and muscle, you still maintain that, like, what's the name of that thing? It's like the proportional strength to your body weight. So I find that really cool, right? Especially right now, it's summer, it's sunny, nice outside. You go have some vitamin D, take some sunlight to your skin. Don't be fucking afraid of the sun. Don't be a vampire, sucking blood out of other people like a goddamn parasite. Go outside, get a tan. You're gonna look better. You're gonna feel better, and you're going to be outdoors training. The other day I was working out. This older man dripped out of his fucking mind, man. This guy has just like those just jeans, boots, had this fucking overall, this white beard, cool sunglasses. He just showed up to me. He's like, this is the best attraction in the park, huh? Every time I walk here, there's someone working. And he starts banging out push-ups in the fucking thing. I was like, holy shit, man. This guy's probably like 75. It's like, nice weather, huh? And I'm like, yeah, good shit. So that those things happen. It's fantastic. Go outside. Cardio as well, for you, my fellas that hate cardio. That's fantastic news that I have right now. I don't really recommend doing much heavy cardio for the objective of losing it. Of course, if you like working out for sports, if you like running, if you like playing basketball, playing whatever the fuck you like to play, man, please keep doing that. And I'd say maybe the same thing. Like if you have a hard jiu-jitsu class, maybe don't do that completely fasted, or have a little like snack before, just to make sure you're not gonna be putting your guts out, passing out and shit. But if you're thinking of doing cardio just for the reason of losing more weight and adding more calories, I don't think that's needed. I don't think that's useful. I think that it actually presents a problem to you, because then you get hungrier, right? It increases your hunger levels, and it just makes the whole fasting thing harder. So what I recommend, man, is just walk. I've been trying my best recently that I have some more free time available, is to get the 10,000 steps a day. I had no fucking idea how much walking was 10,000 steps a day. I thought it was just some silly thing that I was just not able to do it because of work and everything. But holy shit, man, I've been walking non-fucking stop all day. 10,000 steps, that's a lot of steps. I've been enjoying it, though. Gets me out of the house, gets me some, again, fresh air, sunlight. And some other pointers that I have here is about the mindset and about recovery. Something that happened to me is that I can notice that, especially when I'm like further down the week, and I've been on that calorie deficit for more days in a row, that my recovery gets a little bit affected, okay? It takes a little bit more to recover from the exercises from the gym than normally it would when I was not like fasting. So that's something to be really mindful of. It's something to be really mindful, because if you're struggling to recover between your workouts, it might be beneficial to you to just reduce a little bit of that volume, or reduce a little bit, maybe not the intensity, but actually reduce a little bit of that volume. Sometimes maybe even cut a workout, right? Most of the weight loss that I had was on 2 workouts a week, and I kept 99% of the muscle that I had before, right? And I track that shit, right? I have the scale. It's not the most accurate, but it's like consistently accurate. So I know that I haven't lost much muscle ever since. I don't have numbers for you guys, unfortunately, from the top of my head, but be mindful of your recovery time. Sometimes you might less volume on your workouts when you're doing this whole fasting thing, because the objective when you're fasting hard, when you're going hard in this fasting stuff, is to lose weight, right? You cannot remove mass, you cannot lose mass and add mass at the same time, and like add numbers at the same time. So you gotta sacrifice something, okay? And I think a lot of guys get stuck because they get too scared in their head of losing muscle that they don't ever get lean, right? They don't ever get lean. They don't ever lose the weight because they're too afraid of losing the muscle that they built. So be mindful of the recovery times. And this is just a little sprinkle. I don't know why the fuck I wrote this on the script, and I just wrote no music. It's like, yeah, I work out with no music. Call me insane if you want. I do really enjoy just working out in silence. Being the voices in my head, you know what I mean? So that's a few pointers that I have when it comes to my experience combining lifting and fasting. Just some stuff to keep in mind that might be helpful to you when you're trying to do the two things. All right. God bless. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys next time.